Now, so I'm going to go ahead and tell you what video that is so that you can look at it for yourself if you like. It's called Sold Out to Satan, Illuminati-Controlled Musicians. It was posted by Avenged Ministries. Avenged Ministries. And you'll find it in my liked videos playlist. I went ahead and clicked on I like it so that it would show up in my liked videos playlist so that you can see it for yourself. You can easily find it here. I might even, in my description area below this video, put the URL for it, the link for it. But here's what was said. Somebody who had worked in the music industry, not in the performance, but a manager for a company. I forget the details of it, so you can look for yourself. It's somewhere around the middle of the video. You can look at it for yourself. This person had worked in a management position for one of the companies that owns, I guess, a couple of mainstream production companies, something like that. You can look at it for yourself. But anyway, this individual got to know a lot of people, and he'd been out of the industry now for about 5 years. And he ran into David Crosby of the former Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, and asked Crosby, "Do you still?" I've been out of this for 5 years. Now, I want to ask you a couple of questions. I already know the answers, but I want to hear it. I want to hear it for myself. I want to make sure, I want to find out if things are still the way they were when I left the industry 5 years ago. And he asked, do they still take the master to some room? And Crosby said, yeah. Yeah. And the next question was, do they still have a coven, the coven, come in and I'm just going to use this word here, demonize the master? And Crosby said, of course. So then there was a further description of how that works, and what they do. The master, by the way, is referring to the master tape. If you know anything about the music industry, a master is created, for a CD or record, however you want to put it. Whatever form the music is being sold, cassette tapes, whatever. There's a master for the entire set of work, for the recordings that go into a collection that is then sold, distributed and sold. So from the master, many copies are made, and those are the ones we buy. The master is cut, as they say, a significant period of time before copying and distribution takes place. Because, at least for one reason being, because they wait until a full moon, and then during the full moon, they take the master into the special room, that's behind closed doors. And such a room exists in all the mainstream, in the executive offices area of all the mainstream production companies. There's a pentagram engraved into the floor, and there's an altar, and they place the master tape on the altar, and they have a coven, 13 witches and warlocks, come into the room, and it's either they're invoking, or creating a thought form. They're invoking or evoking an entity, apparently either a power or a principality, is what it was said. Or and then at the same time they're also creating an artificial entity, a thought form, just by the nature of the thing. And so, invoking, evoking, and creating an entity or entities to, they're giving them a job. The job is to follow, attach themselves to, and follow every copy made from the master. Stick with every copy. So that wherever the copies go, that entity follows right along with it. It's kind of, we should then, no doubt, infuse itself and whatever it's supposed to do into the music every time it's played. And it is present wherever the copy is. And whatever it's going to do will be infused, I'm just adding this part, into every time any part of it is played. Well, that's pretty important information. It's extremely important information. If you want to look at the video, it's in my liked videos playlist. I put it there so you could look at it. Because I think the video includes a few hasty generalizations, which I have talked about in elsewhere here in this playlist. You know, in my immediately previous video, I didn't place it in any of my actual playlists. You know, included in like this playlist right here. But it's in my liked videos playlist if you want to look for it. I think that's important information. It's as if, okay, it's not enough. It's not enough that these days people who produce, or create and produce mainstream music are now required to be involved with witchcraft of some sort. That was also mentioned in the video. It's not enough, right? As if it's not enough that many of the mainstream musicians, mainstream contracted musicians, claim to be kind of like possessed or taken over during both the creative process and the performance process. As if that's not enough, well then, especially with rock and roll and other forms of music, popular music, the rhythms, the music itself, the composition, is intended to create a trance state of sorts, and then a lyrical message slipped in, as if all of that isn't enough. Well, you got, you know, to use Christian terminology, a demon following every recording. You have an entity and a thought form. That wasn't mentioned. There will automatically be a thought form that goes with it. I think that's kind of a given, a secondary thought form, a vitalized thought form to go along with the whole thing. That's important information. I think it's very important. We should all know that. So I have now put it here for you. And that's that. Be well.